Hello everyone, my name is Binks and welcome back to Let's Play The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Where we're continuing in the fourth case of the game. So, last episode was great, but I'm recording back to back because I was like, oh, if I could squeeze in more episodes before I have to return to work would be great. So my throat's a little shot, but I have water, but it's not really helping. I'll do the best I can. Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. So we're gonna talk about what case we think Gregson was investigating, and other than him looking into all the Reaper cases, I think the current case seems to be the Red-Headed League one, maybe? What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the investigation, to the incident? This is the Red-Headed League article, which makes sense. Okay.
Take that!
Yeah. Oh, I guess we could have presented that or the hairpiece. Got it. I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. You might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. A really bad disguise, though, because he didn't even, you know, like I said before, the other facial hair looked weird. Just saying. Unless he was trying to pass off as one of those people who only dyes the top of their head, you know? Like, oh, I was going gray, but I'm not gonna, like, dye the rest of my hair. Some people do that. Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable, right? Yes, that's quite true. You would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League? What nonsense is this? So, you'd already worked it out. What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? Ah, there was a movie called that, actually. A weird one. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I think it was called, or something like that. I think it was based on a comic book or something. The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for grand deception. A deception of what nature, Counsel? They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. Ah. The 2 men who, one of them's definitely French. The other one's probably supposed to be Italian, and I told Sign I wasn't going to do the voice. I was too lazy. I was like, no, I don't want to try for an accent. Ugh, I could see if I could try, but I don't know. 2 redheads. Normally, Binks loves redheads. Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored. Well done, Mr. Nadahodo. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Sergi. At once, my lord. Very good. We'll have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Oh, this is to be oh, I should have kept going. Dang nabbit. I had a feeling one was coming, but I wasn't sure when. So close, Binks, so close. Whatever. I am salt. No. November 2nd, 12:33 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Oh, there you are, Odo. What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Holmes. Gina. You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Yes. I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I. Possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Holmes. I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear. If it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe. I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Von Zeeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Holmes? You were taken in by their trick. No, no, no. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Holmes' suite, I mean. That's right, Suze. And it was me what took 'em in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed. Yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the Inspector have been investigating them? Yeah. Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Holmes. Yes, well... Then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zeeks for some reason. The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zeeks, and Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Don't say that. You make me feel like it's gonna be another long one. Even though it feels like it shouldn't be. It feels like it should be a short one. Are you ready then, Mr. Sato? Yes! November 2nd, 1 p.m. The Old Bailey Courtroom. Oh. Von Zeeks with that interesting pose again. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again.
Resume the closed court hearing of Baroque von Zeeks, here present who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asergi.
My lord.
Have you summoned the witnesses as requested?
Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage.
Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom.
There they are. Eating the spaghetti. To really hone in on the fact that he's supposed to be Italiano. These 2 men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names for now for the court. And Binks, here we go. The suffering continues. I know I was happy I didn't have to voice for a jury, but I got some tricky people to have to deal with. Ugh, why can I not do certain voices that well? I think like I'm the type that if I hear an accent enough, it's easier to replicate. But I feel like I don't hear French and Italian accents enough for me to be able to replicate them. Because after a while, Italian, Spanish, Russian, like they all start to kind of blend in my ear. And I'm like, oh, it's hard to differentiate them unless it's like really, really obvious. And I'm like, dang nabbit. So sometimes, like, when I try to do a Spanish accent, it sounds Russian. Or I try to do Russian, it sounds Spanish, or vice versa. So it's hard. That's why I know that, like, there's people who, like if you want to do acting, you have to go to an actual dialect coach because they have to, like, really, really train you on the little differences, you know? Which I love. I find it so fascinating. I wish I could do that. Like, I could actually learn different dialects like that. Okay, de Russo. Isn't Russo, like another, like French for red or something? Please, if anyone knows, please comment if that's supposed to be like the pun for his name. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I feel like I read that somewhere. French accent, French accent. Oh, my brain. No, I keep hearing Italian in my head. Oh, stop! Why? This is why I told you, Sign. This is why I was like, I don't think I can try hard for this.
I am Fabian de Russo, a descendant of the great de Russo family from Nice.
Nice. I'm sure it's not nice. It's probably something else.
In France.
Okay, at least he did that. Like, if they put their dialect clearly, that helps me a lot. By the way that they write, you know. And I don't even remember what voice I gave you before. My name is Peppino de Rossi. See, Rossi, it has to be for red, right? Because Russo and then Rossi, because they're both Latin-based. French, Italian, Spanish are all Latin-based, so it makes sense if they have similar words. And Rosa is not only rose, it could also be pink in Spanish. So yeah, that makes sense. But it's rojo. Rojo is red in Spanish, so very similar. All starting with R's. I wonder what it is in other languages. I never can't remember. I know Japanese it's like aka, aka or something is red. I am the third son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. It's a me, Mario. All right, that's the best I could do, y'all. I quit with those two. Don't expect much from those two. The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduate from Temsik. Temsik? That name, that word is familiar to me from another game. A game I mentioned, I think, last episode, too. Are the future leaders of Europe. But, do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alors, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little gray cells of my brain. Okay, I think I'm getting into it. I think, for me, French is easier for some reason. That is all I am trying to do. So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui, you could say that. Not bad, eh? Why are you guys like this? He has the grand ideals, but the petty plans. The strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers. Hilarious? Really? They're funny. See, capo? Listen to me, Peppino. I have two things to say to you. Eh? Che? Are you about to tell me one of your grand anecdotes? Evviva! Okay, Peppino's kind of cute. Sign, do you like Peppino? Because he's Italian and he's kind of cute. And kind of silly. Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Che bello! Oh, che bello? Maybe? I don't know if they say bello or bello, like we do in Spanish. There it is, the capo's trumpa card. The furrowed brow. It is deep, capo? The furrow and the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est vrai? No. C'est quoi? I saw that before and I was telling y'all, I was like, I don't know how to pronounce that. I think I even looked it up and now I don't remember. C'est ça? I can't remember. I looked it up. I know I did. Brain. Why can't you remember these things? I don't have my phone. Whatever. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Alors, I will explain it. No, capo. Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The couple here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse crying like the Trevi fountain. Wee! Those dogs! One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night he would bury his head in his pillow. Okay. C'est bien, Peppino. Enough. I will explain the rest. Wait, what else did he say? In his pillow and weep for the injustice. The first step was the newspaper advertisement.
About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed that same notice in every paper in London.
Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Headed League.
We?
Uh-huh. That word.
I am honored that you have seen it.
It states that the only condition for joining the League is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the League, you could receive a weekly income of £4.
On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. And with the money to France. It was a plan most elegant, no? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. Camera zooms in on Sherlock's face.
The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk like a coaster's orange barrel.
And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face to face with every single person present that day.
Are they gonna remember everybody though?
We? I've seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life.
See, and now every time I see the couples here, I feel sick to my stomach.
Anyway, why have we been summoned here today?
Sorry?
The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told.
Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph.
Very good. So, Mr. De Russo and Mr. De Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to help with the law.
The man in the photograph.
We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assemble in the park on Lime Street that day.
But I don't recall the man in this photograph, couple?
None. I don't remember him. Obviously, he's dead now. But I assure you, he was not in the park.
Allora, these victims are nothing to do with us.
You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. Wrong voice. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oui, I am quite certain. We did not interview this man.
Nobody looking like these came to the park. This I can promise.
It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances.
Oof, with this attitude, we get nowhere, huh?
He's really sulking now. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover.
I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh?
That is ridiculous.
There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Redhead League, which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed.
Very well, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination now.
Yes, my lord. Where are you going with this? This is the one part that I really have not figured out much because I really don't see a connection yet. I don't know how they're really going to be involved, you know? Like, I don't see them acting that suspicious, so I don't know. Maybe just pressing? Lots of pressing? I guess. I don't know.
Hold it!
1,000 people. That's a very big crowd.
It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital.
See, the capo here has a magnetismo animale, eh? Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo.
All those people wanted was the money, Peppino. The £4 per week. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oui, that we did, because every one of them paid us 5 shillings.
We take their names and we take their money and we take their addresses as well. Then I tell them we take some days to let them know by a post finito, maybe 2 minuti a person. We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night.
So, you earned 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Damn. All those fools. Who would have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. Sherlock sneezes behind him.
Okay, you don't recall him.
Hold it!
He doesn't look at all familiar.
No, I don't think so, and this is a wig, eh? He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people. Oh. You got some nerve, little boy.
Says the con artist. If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face.
No, senor. It may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park.
But he's not going to give the court a definite, it seems.
Eh, Capo, you didn't see a man like this, huh?
He doesn't remember him and he's dead.
Hold it!
But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day.
But I mean, he would have been obvious because if his hair on top was red, but then the rest of his face wasn't, that would have been memorable. So of course their minds are like, nah, we didn't see anybody like that.
Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present?
Normally, the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around, then it is just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe then we would recall?
That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh?
This sounds like you're lying.
If there was a man with a red hair piece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him.
That's literally what I just said. See? Yeah. Yeah. But I think you're lying now based on what you just told your little buddy.
Kazuma said these two had only been shown that photograph and they'd been told nothing else at all. What if I fed them just one other detail about the victim? For example...
Oh. His fish and chips. Well, he does always eat them, right? That's pretty memorable. Maybe that?
I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not really. I was looking only at the heads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips any more than the caviar and smoked salmon.
Or a spaghetti. Me, I love the spaghetti.
Really? I had no idea. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino.
See, Capo, see. I say it again and again. Nothing to do with us. I feel like I must have pressed the wrong thing because he didn't really react. Can we do it again or did I screw up?
Hold it!
Okay. Some other information. Which one is it? I don't want to give his name. That doesn't seem right. That seems too much. Just profession, maybe? Maybe I'll freak him out.
I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. What if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph? A detective? Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito.
Oh, awkward pause there. So, oh, looks like this was the right one then.
Sorry, but this changes nothing.
Oh, I don't think Peppino agrees with you. Peppino, what's up, bro?
Something to add, Mr. De Rossi?
Che? See, I am always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper.
What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance?
Eh? What did he just say? About the detective?
Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have said enough already.
But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector from in Scotland Yard.
What? Good lord.
Oh, I didn't even realize he's on a box, but that makes sense.
Order, order, order. Explain this volte-face in your testimony, witness.
It's simple. A man who was at the park... Hey, don't cut him off. A man who was at the park said to us that he was an inspector.
There was no such man.
Ma, dai! What are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, I?
I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park.
Basta, capo, basta! You beat me at many things, but not two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is a faster.
But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up.
Objection!
What a messed up friendship y'all have. Oh, you made the couple angry.
Ugh. Trop tard. The damage is done.
Trop tard? What? Maybe that's French? I don't know.
Indeed it is, sir. Oui, there was a man who came to the park and he said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else.
How can you be so sure?
Because, to start with, his face was completely different.
See, it's true, it's true. The man who came was younger. His face was clean shaven. His eyes were sadder. His chin was thinner. Younger, sadder, clean shaven, thinner. I'm having thoughts. I still think my initial thought is correct then. This guy, Vigil, might have been working with Inspector Gregson. So it might be him they're talking about. Right? Also, I did forget to take a look at this. Any updates? So, Yuji Mikotoba is 43. Jigoku is 43. No, Strongheart 53. Can't believe he's older than them. Baroque is 33. Like we said, everybody has like a 3. Gina's 18. Evie Vigil is 36. Daily Vigil is 40. Oh, and I forgot to comment. I realized later when I was editing the pun name for the governor of Barclay Prison, Barry Caden. Barricading. Yeah, like he's barricading. Yeah, get it. Ha ha. Oh, it's gonna be rough when he There's no way that we're not gonna have to talk to him again because I'm like, oh, doing his voice was hard too. So, yeah, doing like a Scottish accent, I'm like, oh. Oh, Gregson. Okay, Kazuma, sexy man. Oh, gossip, no age. Venus, also new age. Huh. These three just one big mystery, aren't they? He looks somewhat familiar somehow. They're acknowledging it. French aristocracy, really. 26. 25. Okay. Yeah, I think it's Vigil. I'm a little sus on Vigil. But what happened to him? Where is he? Is he bad? Is he good? What's going on, you know?
No resemblance whatsoever, then.
Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you're really a detective, show us the proof. See, the couple here, he doesn't take no nonsense, eh? But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Oh?
Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question.
Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly, the papers were fake. Certo, capo, you're a genius. A fake cop? Well, yeah, because Vigil's not really a cop, or he's not an inspector or anything. He was a warder, but then he got fired, so... As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh?
And what happened after he announced that he was a detective?
He became very annoying. He said you're under investigation. So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park. It was fantastico. And look, here is the identification. So you stole it from the man? He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was.
Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence.
But I like them. Okay. Interesting. Gotta look at that place. You're just gonna take them and not look at them? Bruh. Okay. Metropolitan Police warrant card. Oh. I just saw the blue. There we go.
Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside.
And... oh, no face. Okay. Well, blue.
Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it?
Out of interest, what name is given?
Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's... Tobias Gregson. Wait, what?
The Scotland Yard insignia. Looks genuine to me.
But how?
And the department and identification number details are all correct as well.
Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say...
I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard.
That's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all?
I still... Did he steal it from Gregson after he killed him? Or... did Gregson give it to him? But why would he? Weird.
Now let us return to the witness's testimony.
Allora, this victim is nothing to do with us.
You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place.
Okay.
They haven't told us much we didn't already know.
What do you think, Mr. Nadahodo?
Well, if it was in the inspector's diary, it seems likely that he must have gone to Lime Street that day.
And yet these two both claim they didn't see him. I have to say, you don't appear to be telling lies.
Well, they are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well.
Surely if they were truly experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught.
Well, yes, you do have a point there. Seems to me like we need more information.
Definitely. Okay. Don't recall this man. Photograph. He was not in the park, but we have his identification card? Maybe?
Objection!
Yeah. Okay. I thought so. So maybe it got pickpocketed from him? I don't know.
I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade.
Why, Miss Lestrade?
What is your intention here, Counsel? Is this really a fake or is it genuine? That's the question, which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection!
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. Hold it! That is the boss's! No question about it.
It can't be. As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation.
The Lord! But was it him who actually talked to him? But he didn't look like himself. How?
Order! Order!
But if the boss said his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on at me about it. If you lose something, report it at once, he'd say.
Could it be, then, that the inspector was physically unable to report it?
Does it happen right before he died, right? Physically? Hey, what are you saying?
Unable to?
You're not suggesting.
Yes. It's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen.
No.
Order! 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 The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that?
Always with the crying. I know nothing. I don't know nothing.
Pull yourself together, Peppino. Mon Dieu, you could behave a little more like a master criminal than that. Non?
Now I wish I had returned to Italia.
Stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise,
Lummy, stop your whining and stop talking.
Well, I believe the court will,
I know nothing. I don't know nothing. What was he saying? What did he say?
I believe the court will need to hear your story in considerably greater detail.
But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. You're both crying.
You will dry your eyes and testify again like big boys, won't you? About these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out loud.
The detective and the identification.
The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case.
We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours.
There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and the next morning we let him go.
He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like the prison, really. Ah.
This is outrageous. You imprisoned a man.
But no, see, no. It was not like a prison. He was very comfortable and calm and happy. Aye, Capo?
It was never part of my plan. I swear it.
Oof. So you think it was my fault, huh? Just because I got the dates very wrong by one little day?
I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it.
No. Per favore, Capo. It's not fair.
You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. Oof, I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination.
So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout.
Took him prisoner, kept him for the night at your secret hideout. Where?
Hold it!
Do you realize what you're saying?
You have to believe me, I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either.
Do you think?
But there was nothing else I could do.
See, nothing else. This was the first time for the Capo. He was at the end of his wits.
I have told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street.
We rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by the Capo here.
An impulsive idea, I would say.
No, not impulsive, inspired. Eh, Capo?
What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino?
And it was in the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it?
I really don't think it was Gregson, just because they had, the person had his papers, his identification, you know?
Ugh, But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector.
It doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there?
No, you are right, but we couldn't be completely certain.
You were too scared to let him go, just in case. The room next to yours. A little tussle. Wait, let me ask about that.
What do you mean by a little tussle exactly?
Wolf, it was nothing, just a minor incident.
The false inspector, he was a real piece of the work. Aye, Capo?
What happened? enough. It was a disaster. We give him a nice room, and what does he do? Huh? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator. Can you blame him?
We chased him being sore, and we caught him again.
Can you blame us? Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you?
Who do you think we are? Of course not. I simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room.
Oh? What happened now? Tell me the real truth.
Excuse me.
Pepino.
Mr. DeRossi, is something wrong? Hi! Me? Something Mr. DeRusso just said seemed to make you, well, seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was that all about? Cavolo, at times like that, you don't wanna have the capo after you, believe me. And I speak from personal experienza. Personal experience?
That is enough, Pepino. There is no need to say more. You and your big mouth. Here, eat some spaghetti. Silence him with food.
The truth is, the night before we put the Red-Headed League plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the couple, but I tried to run away. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the couple here, he came after me like the turbine, huh? And he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it, eh, Capo? You violent man, you.
Oh my god.
Bruises, you say? Is this man dangerous after all?
Wait. What is he? Is that a red line in his neck? It's hard to see because of the text box, but... Like a string? Is that supposed to be strangulation?
Ah, you wanna see, huh? You wanna see my fantastical bruises?
That's enough now, Pepino. No one wants to look at any part of you.
You're wrong. People like my chubby cheeks. What to do, huh? I assure you, or I don't. I assure you, or I don't.
You do. Now. Or I will clap those cheeks.
Sorry.
Allora, if everybody wants to see, then I'll do it.
Oh. Wait a minute. Wait. That's the same exact mark. Oh, I had a thought, y'all. And I didn't say it when I was looking through this earlier. I don't know if you saw me hesitating. I didn't say it. Bruh. He has the same mark. Gossip. And guess what else he has? A similar hairstyle to this dude. But he looks so different. That's the only reason. I was like, I don't think it's possible for his eyes to change like that. You know? I was like, no way. Like, maybe hair, yes. And maybe he could put like a fake lip or something. But like, the eyes looking that completely different. The lip is weird though. The lip is really weird. Even the nose, actually. Like, how? Now that I'm looking at, like, the nose is different. Everything's different. The only thing that looks similar to me really is the hair. And maybe the shape. The overall shape of the face is similar. They're long and like, narrow. So I was like, oh, he kind of looks like him, but the differences are so extreme that I was just like, there's no way. But now I'm, like, extra sus. I think maybe he's wearing some kind of mask or something. But
Like, seriously? How is that possible, bro? How? Oh. Hmm. And what did he do to make that mark on both of their necks? Like, Jesus. And it's lasting that long? Yeesh. You see? It's still very visible, eh?
That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house?
See, the couple, sometimes he is very rough.
I said that's enough.
What else did he say? Very rough and... Oh, okay.
Peppino's neck is nothing to do with what we were talking about here. You have my word.
Violent man.
Yes. What is your opinion, Counsel? About this red ring around Mr. DeRossi's neck? I wonder, does it matter?
I think it does. I think it really, really does.
Mr. DeRossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck.
Aye, couple, you see? Everyone is interested in what I say, huh?
Ugh.
Very well. You'll amend your testimony as requested, Mr. DeRossi.
See, if you really wanted to know. He tried to escape, but the couple put the collar on him and dragged him back. Like what he did to me, see? Okay, but how do I prove about gossip now? Like I can't present his profile like we used to be able to do in other games. Dang nabbit. There's nothing else about gossip here. What else can I present? Dang nabbit. Well, I guess what I'm trying to prove that it's gossip and not Gregson. But if I don't have anything about gossip, is there something about Gregson then? Maybe? I was kind of thinking about the collar. Let me present press to see if anything else.
Hold it!
Are you saying that red mark was caused by...
See, a big collar made from the leather.
a leather collar?
Is this true, Mr. DeRusso? What? We had a Saint Bernard at home when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain.
A strong chain. And you put that around your friend's neck? Jesus.
This is a toxic relationship. Peppino, get out. I'm sorry, I was so angry that he was leaving me alone.
Well, you did not have to tie the chain to the leg of the bed, though. I would not have tried to run again.
You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you?
Treat the people equal, is the couple here's motto, eh?
It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden.
The couple is a tough, but the couple is a rough.
I shouldn't have done it.
So the following morning, when you released the inspector,
He had a red ring around his neck, just like a me.
Peppino, s'il vous plaît. Leave it now.
Now you know, huh? The couple here, you don't wanna tangle with him, eh? But for the inspector, it's not so bad.
collar. What can all I can kind of... I have nothing. Nothing about gossip. So... I'm kind of thinking... This is the victim. I don't see the red mark on his neck. It's not like the most clear image of his neck, though. I don't know if this will work, but that's all I could think of. Let's try it.
Objection!
Okay, thank goodness. Yeesh. We somehow have to tie it to gossip, though. So, the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito.
No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was only.
However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains.
What inconsistency is this, Counsel?
I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck.
But that makes no sense. It was me who took the color of the man in the morning. And I saw the red bruises on his neck, just like I have.
Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we'd expect to see bruising on the victim, who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. De Rossi.
Indeed, that is most peculiar.
I mean, they did tell you that they haven't seen him, right? Yeah.
But what we tell you, huh? We say this from the beginning, many times.
Oui, Peppino's right. The man in the photograph is someone different to the man we held captive that night.
You're still criminal scum. Okay.
It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all.
Objection!
If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself.
And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for that day. Which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely.
The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real Inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, Counsel?
The whole thing defies explanation.
It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie.
No, facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. It's weird. But yeah. Like, how the hell is his face looking so different?
Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe.
Good gracious. Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. So, why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. DeRusso and Mr. DeRossi? It was the imposter.
Though it seems incredible, I admit the undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson.
In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time.
Objection!
On the contrary, I haven't finished.
What?
There's no bruising on the victim's neck. So the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification?
See, that's alright. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the couple dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar.
Mon Dieu, Peppino, I was not so harsh as you say, huh?
So who was that falso inspector, eh? Who was he?
Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man these two imprisoned that night.
I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste.
Alright, who is it? I cannot believe he's been here the whole time, right under our noses. I knew you were shady. I knew you were shady.
Take that!
Goodness me, isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passersby.
Objection!
What on earth would a street seller be doing with the police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not? What does happen to his lip?
See, this man is not for the Red-Headed League, eh? He's looking for the Twisted Lip League, no?
Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. Oh, you think you're so funny, Kazuma. Ha ha ha! Okay, it wasn't that bad, but still.
It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising.
Eh? What?
You didn't notice, Kazuma? Come on, man. Where's your powers of observation?
The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Order, order! Bailiff! Bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately.
Damn. There it is.
Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising, indeed.
And we are going to leave this episode right here. It's a long one. Sorry, I couldn't find a good place to stop because it was so juicy. But thank you so much for watching. We finally got to that point, and I can't wait to prove that that gossip is Vigil, because, like, that's so obvious to me now. And, like, I just really need to know, is Vigil good? Was he working with him? Or is he bad? You know, that's the big thing. Is he a killer? Is he a victim? Is he an accomplice? Like, what's going on? I'm dying to know. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a nice day. Goodbye.